domestic terrorist, the Trump administration would like you to believe that it is unarmed mothers in their vehicles who are the real domestic terrorists, not the masked, armed, untrained men who are routinely violating your rights and showing up in your cities and terrorizing and intimidating people and using deadly force and using tear gas and things like that. Definitely not domestic terrorists. Let's not forget these good guys who were also definitely not domestic. These were patriots, not at all domestic. It's the unarmed mothers and poets in our communities who understandably are frightened when large masked armed man approaches vehicle. Domestic terrorist. Renee Good should absolutely still be alive and still be with her son, and ICE needs to get out of our city and stop terrorizing communities.
The way they're spinning this is so scary. It's good that a lot of people around the area had their cameras recording, because now we were able to see all the things that was happening around that situation. I'm so sick about this, and he's going to get off without a doubt. And we need to hit the streets in the biggest protest in history.
Unfortunately, we had a very tragic incident resulting in the death of a young woman. But,
you know, terrible that an American citizen lost their life. However,
you are probably going to see more of this across the country.
Right. Well, and it was a tragic loss of life, Dana, and unnecessary, but
tragic to see someone die. But this is a tragedy for everyone involved. Nobody wins here.
So several things. It is very sad that this woman did lose her life. No one wants that. She has a 6-year-old child. However,
I don't love in any way, shape, or form that someone is dead. But
it is very unfortunate. It is tragic that this woman was hurt or obviously in this case. But
it's always a tragedy when somebody a violent death like this, when somebody is shot and killed. But
it was a tragedy to see a woman killed yesterday. That being said,
you done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day.
So that's a lie, a blatant fucking lie. You can check the footage yourself. It's here on TikTok if you haven't seen it. It is obvious, plain as day, this woman was not a domestic terrorist. She was clearly trying to flee the scene because 3 masked men were approaching her and yelling at her to get out of the car. And as she tries to drive away, she gets in the face by an ICE agent. And this is exactly why nobody wants ICE in their towns, because this administration will just lie. They will straight up, no matter what happens, if anything goes wrong, they will just lie, make some shit up, and call that person a terrorist. So this is where we're at now, and it's genuinely terrifying that this administration is sending untrained, masked men with guns into our towns, and they intend on taking zero accountability if anything goes wrong.
She's explaining like no one saw the video. We will not allow them to lie to us when we can all see it with our own eyes.
You're goddamn right.
You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf. Right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here. Read history. You learn from history. Any time you have the loss of life that needlessly happens, that's tragedy. And what occurred yesterday did not have to happen.
Well, you'd steal my car and help me look for it, wouldn't you, Mr. President? That's the type you are. And it's a good thing I don't have to rely on you to tell me what the facts and the law are. It's a good thing I don't have to rely on you, Kristi Noem, to tell me what the facts and the law are. It's a good thing we can see and we can hear with our own eyes and ears, because there are eyewitnesses who are directly contradicting what you're saying. That woman was not trying to run over an ICE agent. She was not attacking ICE agents. It looked clear as day like she was trying to get away. Now I'm talking to the people who agree with me, but more importantly, the people who don't. Why are you bending over backwards? Why are you doing mental gymnastics to justify this? Maybe you think she shouldn't have fled. Maybe you think she should have gotten out of the car when the officers told her to. Fine, you're allowed to think that, but here's what I think. I think at least some of these officers want action. Look at how ICE recruits. Put away the bad guys. Here, we'll give you a badge. We'll give you a gun. We'll protect you, brother. Don't worry about it. If you do something wrong, we're the federal government. We're the most powerful entity in the United States. We can protect you. We won't prosecute you. Nothing will happen to you. We have your back. You want some action? Go out there and get it. And when you put people in the field without proper training, without accountability, this is what you get. Now, let me bring it down a notch and talk common sense. If someone is in a car and you want to stop that car, are you going to step in front of it? Are you going to put yourself directly in its path? Are you shooting at it and guaranteeing that person loses control? Do you think that makes the situation more or less dangerous? This was absolutely not handled properly. I also think at some point this stopped being about safety and started being about authority, about showing someone who's boss. How dare you not do what I told you to do? Now, I don't know what happens next. I know you've got an ICE agent, and the local prosecutor is probably looking at whether they need to prosecute you for murder, which means you could be going away for life. If the jury doesn't believe your self-defense defense, your life will be drastically changed, and the other person has no life at all because you killed them.
If there's one thing I'm thankful for, it's that this is happening where we have cell phones and not just getting our videos from the news. That, and also the body cams, those are the two worst ones. They take months or even years before they come out. And by that time, a narrative has already been shaped and the person has already gotten away with it.
A civil rights lawyer who has sued police many times, and I can comment on the shooting that took place today by ICE agents in Minnesota. There are two major Supreme Court cases that cover lethal force by police in situations like these. One is Tennessee versus Garner. The other is Graham versus Connor. You can look them up. Despite what people may believe, police are not authorized to use lethal force in all situations. They are only authorized in limited circumstances. One of those circumstances is if the officer has probable cause to believe the suspect poses a significant imminent threat of death or serious harm if not immediately apprehended. Another is if the officer, before using force, has reason to believe the suspect committed a felony involving serious bodily injury or death. Neither of those things happened here. Force must be necessary to prevent escape when no other reasonable alternative exists. That didn't happen here. The cop could have moved out of the way. A warning should be given if feasible. The cop didn't do that. This was not a justified use of lethal force.
What's your reaction, just first of all, to the news coming out of Minneapolis?
I was, even for everything we've seen, I was shocked that they would shoot somebody. I saw the video, I was shocked that they would shoot somebody in cold blood like that. They have turned ICE into a completely rogue, not just an immigration enforcement organization, a rogue organization. We still cannot get confirmation about who all these new hires are, for example. I've seen reporting that they hired bounty hunters to go after people. I just saw this 287G agreement with one of the local governments in Texas that literally puts a bounty on the number of people, gives extra money to a police department for the number of illegal aliens that they capture.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have turned it into a rogue organization, and I've said before, I think that it should be disbanded.
Yes.
That they should not have responsibility for immigration enforcement when this chapter is done.
Abolish ICE was a very controversial slogan in 2018, 2020 for your party. A lot of centrists in your party blame that slogan for you losing seats in the House, even though Joe Biden won the presidency that year. I've always been a supporter of abolishing ICE. I think it is a rogue agency. It's always been a rogue agency since George Bush set it up. And everything that I saw last year made me double down on that position. Now watching this video, I think it's a no-brainer. How can Democrats go into an election saying they're going to do anything other than disband or abolish ICE? Because tinkering with reform, when you're at this level now, when we're seeing videos on our phones of assaults, torture, shootings, you got to shut it down.
Look, I've had conversations with colleagues where I've encouraged them to speak out more and to be strong in their position. I think that we have the right, both policy, legal, and moral position here that this is a rogue organization that is mistreating even U.S. citizens.
Complete violation of the Fourth Amendment. This situation is a perfect example of excessive force. And now I've seen some videos of ICE agents snatching people's phones and trying to delete the footage so that they don't get captured in doing all of this crazy stuff.
Do me a favor and turn off your video. You're detained right now, so you're not free to record. No, we are free to record.
Yeah, we're not free to record.
You're detained right now, so
no, we're not detained. They haven't told us we're detained.
They didn't say nothing about I'm telling you right now, you're
detained. No, we're not detained. Nope.
Look. I got that too on recording already. And you are not allowed to do this.
They're not detained.
Get off the phone. Turn the phone off. Say it again.
So they're not detaining them because they suspect they're illegals. They're detaining them because they want to delete the footage off the phone. Like, bro, did you forget the duties of your job? Recording in public places and inside your private vehicle is not allowed. But taking my phone forcefully and assaulting me and my buddy is? But let me know what your thoughts are with what's going on in Minnesota. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you check out this video. I'm sure you're definitely going to enjoy it. But nevertheless, I will see you guys when I see you. Peace.